Nyogola 381 votes, Stephen Okello 228 votes, Brian Owino 127 votes, Ruben Ojijo 52 votes and Eric Obai 45 votes.
I want to thank the Almighty for bringing us this far. The campaign has not been easy for the party primaries. The battle is ahead of us on the 7th of November 2019. We must keep the legacy of the late Honorable Ken Okoth alive.
I want to say congratulations. Haikuwa rahisi, amejaribu kwa sababu ako na huzuni ya kupoteza ndugu yake, si ndio? Kitu nataka kuambia watu wa Kibra. Kibra is ODM's base. Na tuwezi kuleta fitina na chuki.
The party will now forward his name to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission on Monday if no one challenges his win. The nomination process was marred by delays and several voters' names were missing from the IEBC register in most polling stations.
Iwapo kuna yote ambaye hajaridhika, bado tumeweka mikakati. Unaweza kuja mbele ya bodi ya apili ya chama ambayo itaketi kesho, watakusikiza kwa sababu sisi ni wanademokrasia. Lakini baada ya hiyo yote tusonge mbele tukiwa kitu kimoja.
All eyes will now shift to campaigns with the Jubilee Party promising to invade the constituency largely considered an opposition stronghold. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Governors will head back to the drawing board to ask for more money next year. Makueni County Governor Kivutha Kibwana says, who is the Council of Governors Chief Whip, says the governors only agreed to the 316.5 billion shillings allocation to end the revenue share stalemate. He says they will go back to the national government in January when a supplementary budget will have been passed. He said they had to bend over backwards to save devolution and to keep operations running in the counties that were almost crippled. This as Makueni MP Daniel Manzo warned governors against taking advantage of the absence of an Auditor General to squander the 316.5 billion shillings allocated to counties.
I believe the country is moving very fast to replace the Auditor General. Although audits are usually delayed with the 3 years and the reports come quite late, and I'm sure although the head of the audit is not working right now and there's an active one, we really want to request the governors and any other government users, all of us who are supposed to be accountable to wananchi, that we make sure that we have, we take care of people's money.
If as a country sometimes we have a problem of money, we should make sure that when money is available, money goes into feeding devolution so that our country can thrive. I would, as one of the people who are involved in constitution making for quite a while, I would really plead with the Kenyan leaders, I would plead with Kenyans that let us solidify devolution because that is our lifeline. And even for the president, whatever it is we do as governors, we do it because we are getting support from the national level. So it's not like our success alone, it is the success of the president.
Kapenguria Member of Parliament Samuel Moroto has called on the Kenya Revenue Authority to take over the revenue collection functions currently undertaken by the county governments. The MP says this will improve revenue collection and seal the corruption loopholes. Moroto accused most of the counties in the country of failing to meet their targets and of not submitting the funds collected. The legislator said that there is need for transparency in the counties to safeguard the taxpayers' money.
Ya DPP pamoja na DCI na ya Auditor General wameanza sasa kuonyesha kwamba governors wako na mabilioni si hata pesa kidogo, na ndio tumesema kwa muda mrefu na tunataka wachapishe kutoka juu mpaka chini, hata wa step aside, either their deputies or speakers washikilie mpaka uchunguzi fanyike. Lazima tusafishe Kenya, tumekuwa na uchafu na wananchi wa kawaida ndio naumia.
Employees at the Kenyatta National Hospital are set to go on strike tomorrow over the failure by the hospital's management to implement a salary increase. The Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Educational Institutions and Hospital Workers, that is KUDHEHA, issued a 14-day strike notice that lapsed today. The union accuses the hospital of only implementing the salary increase for the chief executive officer alone.
Tulikuwa tunafikiria kiongozi wetu CEO anajali maslahi yetu, kumbe ni yake peke yake. Hii ulimwengu ndugu yangu iko na maajabu. Baada ya kugundua na kujua haya yote, sisi kama wafanyikazi tukapeana ilani kutoka tarehe 21 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu. Maajabu hayajaisha. Hakuna mtu kwa serikali, Ministry ya Labor, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health amejitokezea kuzungumza na sisi. Siku 14 naisha leo saa 8 au saa 6 ya usiku. Wafanyikazi wote wa Kenyatta National Hospital kuanzia 001 on 9th minute, sisi zote hatutaweza kuendelea na kazi.
President Uhuru Kenyatta this morning attended a church service at St. Anthony Cathedral in Malindi as he continues his tour of the coast. Earlier this weekend, the president visited several development projects in parts of Kwale County. The president, who was accompanied by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Samson Mwadhedhe, visited the Shimoni fish landing site, which the government through the Kenya Ports Authority is in the process of upgrading into a modern fishing port. From Shimoni, President Kenyatta then proceeded to Kibuyuni town, where he inspected the ongoing construction of a 200-ton per day fish processing factory. Once complete, the factory will directly employ 500 Kenyans from the area. The president also visited Kibuyuni Seaweed Farmers Factory, a project run by a local women's group. He assured area residents that the government is working towards resolving the challenge of illegal fishing. He also made a surprise appearance at the homecoming ceremony of Principal Secretary Safina Kwekwe at Mwangoni Primary School, where he promised an upgrade of the school at a cost of 11 million shillings.
Hapa tuko na katibu ambaye pia ni mama na ametoka kwenu na amesoma hii shule yenu na ambaye ameshikilia public service. Jameni, kati ya nyinyi wasichana naona hapa wadogo, nyinyi nataka pia muweke maanani kwa masomo yenu. Siku moja wenu asiangalie kuwa katibu, asiangalie kuwa waziri, aangalie vile yeye atakuwa rais wa kwanza mama katika taifa la Kenya.
Now, a 75-year-old woman is seeking justice after fruitless efforts to secure ownership for a piece of land in Pangani, Nairobi. According to Veronica Njeri, land cartels invaded the land she bought in 1975. Her rental houses were demolished earlier today. She says she was not issued with any notice of demolition. She's now calling on the government to come to their rescue.
Ploti tulipata 1977 na ni kununua, tulinunua kwa mwenyewe. Kutoka kwa mwenyewe tukapatiwa loan na National Bank of Kenya. Tukanunua, tukaagana na yeye mwenyewe, tukakubaliana, tukampatia pesa, akatupatia makaratasi. Badala ya kuja kwangu waninunulie, ndio nao wasoko warudi wausie huyu. Mimi kunyang'anya tu. Mimi nasikia uchungu sana na sina uwezo. Ndio naomba usaidizi kutoka hata kwa serikali na kila mtu yule angekuwa na uwezo wa kunisaidia.
It will be free entry at the Amboseli National Park from the 10th of September to the 12th as the second Arid and Semi-Arid Lands Conference kicks off. Cabinet Secretary for Devolution, Eugene Wamalwa, has also encouraged delegates to attend the event, where ASAL counties will discuss investment opportunities on minerals, mechanized irrigation for food security, the meat industry, value addition, tourist destinations, and culture. The second ASAL's conference, which is expected to attract more than 2,000 visitors, will be opened by President Uhuru Kenyatta on Wednesday and closed by Deputy President William Ruto 2 days later.
Kuja kusherekea ugatuzi katika eneo hili na vile vile katika taifa letu la Kenya, na vile vile kuangalia changamoto tulizonazo hasa wakati huu wa ukame. Kaunti ambazo zimeathirika sana ni hizi sehemu ukame, na tuangalie vile tunaweza saidiana pia kama serikali kuu na serikali za kaunti.
Ningependa kuwafahamisha Wakenya na washikadau na marafiki wetu kwamba KWS itaruhusu wale wote wanakuja conference hii kuingia paka ama mbuga la wanyama la Amboseli, na kwa hivyo itakuwa pia ni wakati wa kuenjoy heritage yetu ya wanyama, kukaa kitalii na pia kuzungumzia shida za ASAL, ili kwa pamoja tuweze kuipeleka sehemu hizi kame mbele.
Kuja mkija unue ushanga yetu tufaidike naye, watoto wetu wapate kusoma, wafae, wakule, na Mungu atawabariki.
The Association of Churches, in collaboration with the residents of Thogoto area in Kiambu County, held prayers along a 28-kilometer road in a bid to cleanse it due to the many accidents that have been witnessed. Led by their chairman, and that is Pastor Simon Joroge, the group prayed and walked for 28 kilometers on the Thogoto-Mutarakwa road that links Thogoto and Limuru. Joroge urged road users to be keen on the roads so as to avoid accidents. The residents have expressed their satisfaction with the ongoing construction of the road, adding that there is need to put bumps on the road.
Ajali nyingi haziwezi kuhesabika. Kama kuna mahali pamoja ambao tunaelekea pale kwa kona panaitwa kwa Muhuheli, pale nimesikia kwamba ni zaidi ya watu 10 wamekufia hapo, na hiyo ni sehemu moja. Sisi wachungaji leo tuli identify tukaona maeneo 21.
Hii barabara yetu iwe kwa vidhibiti mwendo ama speed bump, ili tuweze kumanage speeding ya magari na pia mapikipiki, na pia mataa iweze kuwekwa mali inapofaa ili kuweza kufanya barabara iwe na mwangaza mkuu.
Now, a section of Maasai leaders are calling for the prosecution of persons allegedly implicated in the sale of portions of the Mau Forest for settlement. Speaking in Narok County, the leaders lauded the ongoing operation to restore the water tower. The eviction exercise entered its 7th day, with people moving out voluntarily amid security patrols at the Sierra Leone and Kipchoge areas.
What happened really was a ballooning of the 7 adjudication section, which CCN and Rayo was among them. And those are criminal records within the government adjudication office. And we are urging the government and the DPP to move in and arrest those who did that, because you can never take a position of ignorance.
Mau Forest was carved craftily by those of forefathers because of their indigenous knowledge, and it is very, very awkward for this generation to destroy the forest, and those people who never even went to school were able to put the forest there. And for those who are also talking about trust land, it is a trust land to safeguard the forest. It is not a trust land for people to dwell in.
We have no problem with members of the Kalenjin community, none whatsoever. But you cannot tell me that the life of 60,000 people illegally dwelling in the forest is more important than 22 million people who live downstream. It is illogical to think that way. Maasai leaders who are on record saying that they support this, mimi nakuambia, I just want to tell you, that is their own opinion. This community does not share that opinion. The community's opinion is that people should have left the forest like yesterday.
MPs drawn from Kieleweke and Team Embrace from Jubilee, ODM and the Wiper Democratic Party are currently attending a church service at Gitui Catholic Church in Kiharu constituency. The legislators will later in the day conduct a funds drive in aid of the construction of the church. Joining us now is Martin Mwaura. Martin, what have they had to say this far?
Yes, well, thank you so much, Olive. As you have rightly said, we are coming live from Kiharu constituency. To be specific, I am at Gitui Catholic Church, where members of the parliament, some leaders were attending a harambe in aid of the construction of a church. But the speeches, something shocking is that the speeches were cut short. I mean, it's after the area MP, who is Ndende Nyoro, arrived. Ndende is allied, he said, to be in group Tanga Tanga, which is led by the deputy president, and the group that is here is Kieleweke, which is led by Minor Commander. And Ndende came and started complaining that it was very wrong for the leaders to come all the way from Nairobi just to come and take campaign for somebody else. You know, he was complaining that he, being the area MP, is supposed to be the MC, and that is when things took another turn, and the leaders now, it became like a shouting match between the leaders, and even the residents now joined in on the shouting match. The police were forced to intervene a few minutes ago, and calm has returned, but the church priest, the father who is in charge of this church, has said that no speeches will go on, and they have just gone straight to the fundraising in need of the church. This is something that has actually becoming a norm, where leaders from Tanga Tanga and leaders from Kieleweke, when they meet, this is it's expected, and it is setting such bad precedents. Kwanza, when it is inside a church. Olive.
Thank you, Martin, for that brief. Of course, at 7 and at 9 p.m. you will have the opportunity to hear straight from the horse's mouth. Now, the first Kenyan military chaplain to go to war in Somalia under Operation Linda Nchi, and one who has also served under Ken Bat 14 in Burundi, celebrated his 25th year as a priest at Mbitini Parish in Makueni County. Father Major George Makau was ordained as a priest in 1994.
At Sacred Heart Mission in Mbitini, Makueni County, everyone let loose as they shook a leg. They had a reason to celebrate. The man at the center of attention was Father Major George Makau. Father Makau marked his silver jubilee of priesthood. Father Makau wears two hats. He also served in the Kenya military as a chaplain. He entered the war zone with the Bible in one hand and a gun in the other. Makau was once deployed in Burundi for a peace mission and Somalia under the Operation Linda Nchi.
The happy moments have been, I can say, is that when I'm serving my people, my soldiers, outside our country, Kenya.
He has been very faithful to his life and more to the priesthood that Christ has given to him. He has been the people have appreciated him, and he has taken many people and brought many people to God.
Unlike other soldiers whose task is the liberation of southern Somalia from Al-Shabaab and the limitation of the threat posed to Kenya's security and stability, Makau's job involved boosting morale, and in the event that they fall sick, get injured or die in battle, it is likely the priest will be by their side, anointing them, urging them to be strong, or ultimately escorting them back home.
When they are down, I'm there. When they are happy, I'm there. When they want to celebrate, I'm there. When they want sacrament, I'm there. When they want you to go to football, I'm there. So that one experience.
We are here to celebrate the fruit of our faith. Nothing else but the fruit of our faith.
Makau was ordained as a priest in March 1994, joined the military in the year 2001.
A real task for us, because we have to keep on praying, especially one time when he got shot. And he stayed in the theater for 6 hours. So he was not telling us that it was really like he had been shot. So he still had the bullet in his leg. And he lied to my mom.
Currently, he is the chaplain of Mariakani Garrison in Mombasa. Mbitini Parish has produced 2 chaplains who work with the military. The other one is Kilimani Muli, who serves in the USA Army. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Tarmacking of the 740-kilometer Isiolo-Mandera highway begins in the next few months. Ahead of the commencement of the project, contractors and other workers who will be engaged in the construction are being advised to respect and abide by the hugely conservative traditions and religious beliefs of the pastoral communities living in Isiolo, Wajir and Mandera counties where the road will pass.
Elders from the communities residing in the regions to be traversed by the highway are wary of possible violations of their cultures by the contractors. Previously, there have been reported cases of contractors siring children with girls living in the areas. The elders say that any behavior that does not conform to the cultures of the local communities will not be tolerated.
Wale wanakandarasi watapewa hii kazi waheshimu mila na tamaduni za watu. Kama haya mambo ya urevi, kubugia pombe, isikue ati kunaongezeka mambo haya.
Leaders in the area have asked the residents to embrace experts from distant places who will be on board to provide the technical know-how. The contractors have also been urged to liaise with the local leaders to solve any disputes that could arise.
Lakini mkandarasi akishapata kazi huwa ajiri wale wana ujuzi, masomo na ufahamu ile kazi anayoifanya. Isikue tu ati wewe ni kijana wa Isiolo unasema mimi nipewe kazi ya mhandisi na wewe hukufikia kiwango hicho.
They are going to use local NGOs as consultants to address those challenges that can come as a result of sometimes misunderstanding between contractors, government and community. There are good examples given to us when we were in.
Leaders in the area have asked the residents to embrace experts from distant places who will be on board to provide the technical know-how. The construction of the road has been funded through partnership between the World Bank and the national government. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
And that is done.
Thousands of Kenyans this morning participated in the second UNHCR Step for Safety annual walk in support of refugees who have been displaced because of conflict and persecution in the East African region and across Africa. The Step for Safety walk is a UNHCR initiative dubbed Lukuluku campaign. The campaign draws attention to the plight of forcibly displaced people and strives to change the public perception of the refugee narrative by highlighting their resilience. UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador, that is Mercy Masika, led popular artists Avril and Elani in participating in the public walk in Nairobi, as well as performing for the participants. The Pan-African Walk was inaugurated in Nairobi last year and since then has been held in Somalia, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Senegal and South Africa.
Today, we walked 10 kilometers and others walked 5 kilometers, and it is in solidarity with refugees who are forced to leave their countries or their homes because of war, because of conflict, because of violence, because of human rights violation. So they walk miles and miles to reach safety and protection.
Thousands of people gathered before dawn on Sunday in the Madagascar capital of Antananarivo for Mass under Pope Francis, who is on the second leg of his three-nation African tour. On Saturday, the Pope stressed the importance of protecting children and the marginalized.
More than 5,000 people are at the Somanrakis Stadium where the Pope Francis-led Mass is taking place. The Mass began at 10 a.m. Many had already set up tents on the outskirts of the city on Friday, armed with posters of the Argentine pontiff. They roared and waved plastic Madagascar and Holy See flags as Pope Francis looped through the crowd before Mass on his Pope Mobile. In his homily, the Pope told the crowd not to work only for their own personal agendas and goals, but for others as well.
As we look around us, how many men and women, young people and children are suffering and in utter need? This is not part of God's plan. How urgently Jesus calls us to kill off our self-centeredness, our individualism, and our pride.
Earlier on Saturday, Francis made an impassioned plea to Madagascans to protect the Indian Ocean's unique environment from excessive deforestation. Arriving from Mozambique, where he pleaded for understanding and renunciation of violence, In a country riven by 16 years of civil war and now hit by jihadist attacks, the Argentine pontiff's first port of call on Saturday was to be a mass and prayer vigil with at least 12,000 young scouts. On Monday, he traveled to the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius on the final day of his week-long three-nation Africa trip.
Glad to see the Pope made it out of the elevator that was stuck in one piece. Now, Ida Waringa comes up next with the sports news. Ida, I saw that somebody beat Serena Williams to the US Open title.
Yes, indeed, Olive. Thanks for that. Her name is Bianca Andreescu, 19 years old. Wasn't even born when Serena won her first ever Grand Slam. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Well, Kenya and Uganda will renew their footballing rivalry this afternoon when the two countries meet in an international friendly, otherwise known as the Migingo Derby. Both local coaches, Francis Kimanzi for the hosts and Abdallah Mubiru for the Cranes, will be seeking a first victory in their new appointment at the helm after taking over from the foreign coaches who led the sides at the AFCON 2019. Kenya is using the match as preparation for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The Francis Kimanzi coach side will be looking to reclaim their lost dominance in football in the region, having recently lost to Tanzania in a CHAN qualifier. While the match will see Kenya and Uganda face off for a record 76th time. Kenya has won 22, drawn another 22, with Uganda clinching 32 victories. The game will kick off at 4 p.m. with tickets going on sale today on match day at a flat rate of 200 shillings. Well, still on football, but let's cross borders. And Cristiano Ronaldo did what he does best as European and Nations League champions Portugal kick-started their Euro 2020 qualifying campaign with a hard-fought win over Serbia in Belgrade. Portugal went ahead through William Carvalho and Goncalo Guedes before Nikola Milenkovic pulled one back. But further goals by Cristiano and then by Bernardo Silva.
Every day, NTV News Team moves you to the center of the action.
The security forces who took part in this operation,
police are not taking anything to chance.
Moves you to the heart of the story to witness and record history.
Rendering the declared results null and void.
Telling the story of Kenya.
The growing importance of border in Mandera.
Matatus will be on strike.
And beyond.
The politics in the United States capital.
It is the 7th edition of the Global Education taking place in Dubai.
When it comes to business, we crunch the numbers and unpack the detail with the latest information for your investment decision.
It's time to say goodbye to Thief Note and Karibu to Thief Note.
37-year-old Williams just couldn't cope with the 19-year-old's quality in a 6-3